Hello, hello. I'm back and I've got Whole Song of Birds here again. So I'm feeling a little bit groggy tonight. I just got up from like half an hour nap. I only got up at like, I don't know, 2-3 p.m., which I guess isn't really that abnormal for me, but some days, you know, you just can't wake up quite right. So I've had some coffee, all the usual stuff. I'm gonna try Lunatic with Sakria. I believe Sakria is the third character today. Probably just gonna do one run. Maybe two. Maybe like one with Kaguya, depending on how long it takes, I guess. I'm not totally sure if I want to like nitpick over getting a 1cc at this point before moving on to another game. But at the very least, I'd like to try out all the characters and, you know, go through, have some fun reading the dialogue, that kind of thing. So let's see, it mentioned that if you don't really know which one to pick, this one is good. And I really feel that the way I'm going to get a 1cc is just by bombing more. Not only that, but it also mentions, like specifically when I fail the 1cc, spam bombs more, get that 1cc. Orange does sound fun too though, but I feel like there aren't many easy chances for me to really graze in this game. So we're just gonna go with yellow, I think, today. Okay, so let's give this a shot. Let's see how this goes. I haven't played a Sakura at all yet. Wonder what Kaguya's dialogue is gonna be like. It's got a lot of clutter around me with those, like, cards. Whatever they are. I feel like it's already kind of throwing me off. I don't know if it's a Sakura thing or the shot type. Probably both, I think. The options take up quite a lot of screen space there. So I think this just makes my bombs charge faster, I believe. Remember that I've got the Z thing too. Which fills up when you collect the time crystals while bombing, I believe. I think that's all that fills it up. So it's weird, like, if you have a no bomb run, you never get to use it, I guess. Isn't that strange? What a weird thing to tie to another mechanic like that. Yeah, we already have 2 bombs, that's pretty good. At least I think we started with... No, we probably started with 3, actually. I don't know why I always think Toho starts you off with 2. Maybe there's like one game that does. I don't know. Oof. I was thinking about like going up and grazing there. Or rather, I was thinking it looked like a good spot to. But then the bullets kind of started doing that. I mean, I guess they shot inwards, so it would have been okay. Still kind of scary. A little bit kawaii. I don't really know much about Sakura's shot type. She just kind of shoots. There's no like aim stuff. It's not super focused like Marissa's. I guess it's just straightforward. It spreads out a little bit, like, to the side if you leave it unfocused. But it's just straightforward if you are focused, it seems. So it's pretty standard affair. Alright. I'm fine with it. The damage is respectable enough, I guess. What would have happened to Gensokyo if I wasn't here? Peace in Gensokyo really is like a tower babbled upon sand. Hehehe, what a surprise. I hardly thought anyone would be moving around besides those of us yokai who received our priest's protection. Not to toot my own horn, but I am often called Gensokyo's time stopper Sakura, mostly by my lady. Hehe, so if I can defeat you, there'll be nobody left who can rebel against our priest? More people have said that and been killed by me than there are thorium decay products. Sakura, please. No, wait, you might be the first. Behold this as a parting gift for your trip to the Devil's Lands. The true essence of my scarlet dye, with which I'll stay in every last quarter of this white world. I keep looking up and seeing like this thing on the end of her headphones, and thinking it's my mouse that I've left on the screen. Every time. Alright. Let's go. I need to not be afraid to spam bombs this time. That's how I'm gonna get this 1cc, potentially. I don't know if my bombs are good in this or not. I think they are, because they seemed really powerful when I used them in, yeah, they're like not the Faith Bomb. I use them in extra. I'm gonna pick 2 shot types, then I picked this and gap shot type, the purple one, I think. And these bombs are like super strong. The range isn't that big, but that's fine. Just lay them on top of the boss like some kind of exploding egg, and they go down. Barrel color slash. Okay, I know what this one is. I might be able to just capture this, but... Whoa. Okay, I forgot there's like so many lines to that. Alright, yeah, so the range really isn't good. I didn't like hit her with those at all. And I bombed twice. Pretty short duration too. Hello, welcome back. Oh shit, right, I forgot hitting control speeds up everything, not just like dialogue. Alright, well, here's the last word. Which I may or may not capture. I have not captured this yet, not even on hard. Happy New Year. What is it, like, You're the Cow people are saying? I don't actually know, but I've seen people posting a lot of cows. It's not Year of the Monkey, I don't think, so this character, she's gone. She can't stay here. How awful of you, you're trying to dye the world red with my blood? I'm afraid that my lady has a patent on dyeing things scarlet. My lady, you say? You're this strong despite being her underling? Gensoku was certainly wider than I thought. I didn't really do too much at all. I went down to my parents and had lunch, but it wasn't like a special lunch or anything. I live a very quiet, simple home life. I don't really celebrate much, honestly. Night of latter days has come. What does it mean? Really, what does it mean? Oh, so it is high danger. So this is a place where it recommends being ready to bomb, basically. I can see why, but like, if you can get up through those guys, it's not that bad. Okay. That was a little scary, but it's fine. It's also possible that, like, maybe it bases those, like, warning zones off places where you've, like, had trouble before. That'd be a cool mechanic, but I really don't know if that's the case or if they're, like, pre-programmed. My day's been okay so far. I only got up a few hours ago. Got really tired after, like, being up for an hour or so, so I napped for about 30-40 minutes before streaming. So, I'm not really expecting my reflexes to be top-notch today, but it's okay. I don't think anyone comes here expecting professional level gameplay anyway. If I get the 1cc, I do. If I don't, I don't. I'm still gonna play through Kaguya Island today or next stream, regardless. But I'm really looking forward to playing more Pokemon Crystal Clear today, definitely. Had a good time with that last stream. I don't think you stuck around for it, I'm not sure. It was a pretty neat experience though. Lots of changes made to Crystal. Anyway, better to save talk of that for when we get there, probably. To be fair, I don't always have something to say about this. My, there's so many Tsukumogami. What perfect targets for knife throwing practice. How awful of you, how truly awful. In that case, I'll have to get really serious. Making the target bigger just makes it easier to hit, no? Chihihi. The same's true for me as well. With just one strike from this giant brittle needle sword, it'll be lights out for any human. I mean, the size doesn't really matter. Like, hit with it and lose no matter what. Yes, that's how those dual naming rules of yours work. Yep. I'm gonna try out all the characters and do all the routes. I've got Sakuya left and then Kaguya after. But you're a fearsome opponent nonetheless. A huge strong attack like this has a way better chance of accidentally killing you on impact. Dearie me, shall I use a strong weapon as well then? Come, O Silver Reaper. Could that be the bewitched sword Silver Blade? That's probably a reference to something. Yeah, usually Reimu's who I default to, but since this game's English translated and I haven't really read the dialogue before, I figured it'd be kind of fun. Especially since it doesn't move like super quickly. I can kind of advance it at my own pace to play the other characters and read out their stories. Usually Reimu is like my comfort character though. You're not wrong on that. But I'm kind of branching out a little bit, especially since it's a fan game. Especially if there's 2 of these. Then we resume the pattern from the beginning. I'm familiar enough with that now, even though I've only done a few runs. I chose a shot type specifically that gives me more bombs more often. Gotta try to get that 1 CC right. Gotta try a little. I guess Saku's damage is okay. That attack just kind of goes on for a while regardless, huh? Alright, this attack is just kind of really silly. Infinite reincarnations on arrival children. I really just can't do this attack. It's weird. I'm just gonna kind of bomb through it. I don't have someone who can shoot from behind. It's really weird moving around them. Okay, so there's a bit of survival here at the start, and then she does move out and you can actually start shooting her. Yeah, here she comes. I think I've captured this attack every time so far, at least most of the time. It's not really that bad. It's cool. Very creative. Very dynamic. Just a little more. Good. Alright. And now for the last word. I barely remember this one actually. Oh, how did I go through that? That was pure luck right there. Pure hitbox shenanigans. Oh my. I'm actually gonna like luck through this. I feel like it's hard getting through those yellow walls with everything else there though. This is going on for a while too. The blue bullets take up so much space on the screen. Oh no, I got kind of trapped there. I did take her out, but like after I died, so close though. Why do you have a legendary weapon of the Tsukumogami world? The philosophy and meaning of Danmaku lies in its beauty, if you ask me. Your excitement at the prospect of murder is itself proof of the vast difference in power between us. Smirk. So, why do you have a legendary weapon of the Tsukumogami world? Yeah, why do I have this? It just sort of happened. Oh, I really want that silver blade. Already turned all the silver head into toothpicks, spoons, and forks. Yeah, I'm not really on board with her lack of shirt design. It's a little bit too risque. The very definition of foreign tableware. Like, it's so loose, too. At least tighten it up. Like, give her a sash or something out front, you know? Respect the poor girl. Maybe it's her that needs to show some respect to herself. I don't know. I have my Z spell built up too, which I guess I should just use in a boss fight coming up. Oh, I don't remember there being like 2 waves of those. Toothpicks, huh? She does like throwing them around. I feel like I would have had more lives by now before. Maybe it's just my imagination. I haven't lost any so far though, I don't think. So I'm doing okay as long as I keep on bombing a lot. I still think this part's pretty cool. Like, wiggly waves of water bullets. Whoa. Yeah, those guys keep shooting even at the bottom of the screen, huh? My bad. Is this hard? No, as long as the birds don't hit me. I don't think the birds actually have hitboxes. Not in real life. Okay, good. Oh, another life. Cool. And now we're looking good. I almost had 5 for a moment there. Can't wait for stage 5. I've had stage 5's theme like on and off in my head. Specifically when I try to sleep. It's not the best thing to have like stuck there when trying to get rest. This is the Giant Toad's Pond, where the ice fairy is always freezing frogs, they say. And right now, an even greater power has frozen the flow of time itself. A yokai who controls will-o-wisps. We now regulate the pond's ecosystem after having melted that ice fairy, correct? And that's not it. Then you must be a third competitor? One who's weak to the Giant Toad's water, but can melt the ice fairy. Their natural enemy? Not that either. You actually just bumped into me by coincidence then. Talking isn't really my thing. I'm glad you don't need any explanation. Not so fast. I have plenty of questions, like why you yokai aren't frozen, who the mastermind is. If you behave and tell me, I'll defeat you gently with my bewitched sword. If not, I'll defeat you mercilessly. Where did the sword come from? I thought it was just kind of like a one-off gag. And that was just a big knife, but I guess it's an actual sword. Welcome any such interlopers with brute force. That's the order our priest has given me via Chirper. This NSNS that our priest was so kind as to grant me. Doesn't that usually have the furigana for Songboard networking system? It's missing. Within its world, even a poor talker like myself can only bear my true being. I must protect this world of mine. Afraid that I too must protect my master's world. That's a mate's job after all. The universe of justice isn't evil, but rather the justice of another. It's said, too, that the battle between justice and justice rages ever more strongly by the day. I want to follow her and see what kind of shitpost she makes, honestly. You humans, unable to oppose us by force, force the self-righteous justice of your uneven agreement upon us. Imagining how majestic, imposing, and perfect I am on Chirper gave me the courage to stand up to you, you see. I take your world bound by evil laws and purify it with a flame of judgment that announces the coming of peace and harmony. Yeah, the furigana's missing. There's usually like bits above like flame of judgment, I think, and like most of the stuff she says there. Either Sakuya's root doesn't have that, or the translation missed it for some reason. I'm gonna lean toward the latter. I didn't play this in Japanese, so I couldn't confirm though. Tweet appearance. This green laser is just like part of the background. Oh, okay, death bomb, death bomb. Maybe they're signaling where the white bullets are to come up from. Either way, they're kind of distracting, and they didn't really seem like big clues to anything. Not obvious ones, at least. This part's a little scary, but not bad. Please don't try kissing Sakuya. No, 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 no. I thought I was going to be safe on the border of that. I also thought I could time my bomb properly. Slow reaction speed today. Gotta pick things up a little bit if I want to 1cc today. Imagine. Yeah, I have trouble with this one because like the fast part goes on for quite a while. Chirper is the repository for all intellectual rebuild yokai. Even as distance separates us, even if we're total strangers, gaze upon this technique recreated from eternal memories, I think it said. That part goes by really quick. It's just Subterranean Sun again. Why is it here? I don't know. I mean, I know she just steals it off Chirpa, but like, why Subterranean Sun, really? Should've picked a harder card. Like, any other final boss card, pretty much. I don't know, Yuriko's would have been okay. Scarlet Gensokyo's pretty tough. Heck, even Astronomical Entombing is like mid-range difficulty. I suppose. It didn't have to be a final boss card. Yeah. Oh right. This one's our last word anyway, so it doesn't matter that I'm a failure. You dare steal my world away from me? Even if it costs me my life. This alone shall I. By your world, you perhaps that mean that device you have there? I don't care one bit about that. I want you to return the flow of time here in Gensokyo to normal. You seem much less talkative all of a sudden. My synchronization with my chirper self ran out. As for your world, just, hang on a bit. I'll forward the matter to our priest. Seems like I'll have to go purify this priest of yours nice and quick. Verily, Sakuya. Indeed. Oh, I still have my Z spell. Gotta use that. It's essentially just a free bomb on top of these and it won't charge until I use it, so... why not? Okay, I'm gonna keep my button on C instead of Z until I use that. Keep my finger, rather. I can't death bomb today, I can't talk today. It's gonna be a tough road ahead. I think I'll go get another cup of coffee after my first run. Probably will do 2 runs. Wednesday I did 1 Lunatic run and then I did Extra, which I 1cc'd in one go, so I don't really need to go back to that. That was about okay time-wise, so 2 Lunatic runs would probably be fine as well. Yeah, I probably don't want to go so close to the ones that are near the bottom of the screen, eh? This part's just kind of hard, though. Okay, yeah, thank you for stopping shooting. Took long enough. I still really like this instrumentation. Reminds me of, like, old MIDI instruments a little bit. Which I have a soft spot for, kind of. I played stuff like, Mario's Time Machine as a kid, and that's all MIDI music. So, like, I can recognize a few MIDI instruments. What is it, like, that one synth, I don't know if it's a trumpet or something. It's not here, but, like, I feel instant nostalgia if I hear a song that has, like, certain MIDI instruments. Not specifically for Mario's Time Machine, because it's not exactly that great of a game, but just for those times, you know? That's not good. I need to install new spells in Chirper. There are very few spells that I can't stop in this land. Why does everyone say, like, some variant of Yomu's line? It was most blatant with Reimu. Oh, okay. Don't do that. I still have to wonder why Kaguya comes out and checks this out. I guess maybe because, like, the whole time-stopping thing is kind of relevant to what happened in Touhou 8. Even though it's not like she was the one that froze time, it was the heroines, so... I don't know. Maybe she thinks this is, like, targeting her somehow. Damn it, Reimu. Again? I'm not doing anything sketchy this time, I swear. Reimu, where are you? Ooh. Thought I was okay there. I was not. Some of these fairies take so long to take out. One minor complaint I have is, it doesn't feel like there's much feedback, like when you're hitting these enemies or not. Like, maybe make the, contact particles a bit more apparent or something. Or more, like, background sound, like the little rrrr there is in Touhou. I don't know. It's rare to see her kind of yokai hanging around. There's definitely something here. Who's she talking to? There's no one here. She was off screen. You're also a rare type. Are you really just a maid? That's what the fanbase wants to know. I've chanted sutras for years and years, but I've never seen a maid that can fight against time manipulation. I don't think Citra has anything to do with this. Anyway, as he released the Shrine Maiden, my innocent follower is now under her threats. So Sakuya releases, I guess, both Reimu and Marissa from the time stamp regardless of whether you play as them or not then. I'm gonna assume that Kagi is fine on her own with her, like, eternity manipulation thing, but we'll see. I really hoped it wouldn't come to this. The pilgrims will only grow more faithful after they overcome the persecution. No, old practices like pilgrimage and persecution should stay in the past. And get rid of the prayer beads then. We, true Yokai Land Buddhists, have this very simple creed that as long as you recite sutras, you'll be able to reach the Pure Land. Such causality is the secret of our popularity. Are you popular? Are you popular on Chirper? That's not the same. Don't you think that's also the reason you're getting crushed by the Shrine Maiden? Sorry, Miz already come through here then. Paradise, Magmel, Auru, Elysium, Sukhavati, Spaghetti, the land of salvation, the immortal world that exists in all kinds of religions. But think about it. The concept of being saved only in afterlife is rather paradoxical. Why are there so many, like, typos in Sakuya's route? Those in the afterlife may enjoy the good world. The world that's only meant for the dead. Not for the living, not for now, and not for the evil. Ease the pain of living by the illusion that one will eventually be saved after they die. That's what religional paradises are, after all. I'll heal Yokai's hearts which suffered from the Shrine Maiden's rampage. For that, I don't mind break, an oath. Such a melancholy. This land is dyed in black and white, filled with death and pain, that hardly qualifies as a symbol of salvation. I cannot turn my back on my people who found the value in Nenbutsu, seeking me, or Buddha's help. Keep your ears open. What I'm about to test on you is the soundable Nenbutsu Danmaku fused with the latest Chirper technology. So I guess, like, if Reimu's been through here, maybe Marissa has been too, and, like, she's had, like, the same Danmaku battle, like, 3 times today. Now with Sakuya. You wouldn't think, like, maybe I should get some new spells. Maybe I should just use the same ones every time. I guess characters don't, like, mix it up, you know? Like, if I were gonna fight 2 or 3 different people in a row, maybe I'd at least mix up the order, you know? If not the cards themselves. Makes you think. Okay, so you can shoot the birds, but again, there's just not much feedback that it's working. Doesn't really feel like your bullets are hitting sometimes. I can hear myself hitting the boss at least, that's good. Alright. I have my Z spell right now, I used it in the stage, so just bombs. Which I had better use properly. Stage 5 is where things really begin to get tough, so... Oh, this is more of a game. I didn't notice the, like, pre-card thing, like, plagiarism Sane. Yeah, that is what this is. So, if they, like, get spell cards from Chirper, how do the cards end up on there? Like, don't tell me that Sane is using this bird-targeted social networking system. That doesn't make any sense. How do the cards end up on there? How did Nuclear Fusion end up on there? Okay, well, I mean, Oku's a bird. Sure, that's fine. In that sense. I don't know how they would have, like, gotten this software to her. Taught her how to use a cell phone and all that, but... I don't know. I could maybe look past that. Maybe, like, if you just take a picture of someone's Danmaku, regardless of who you are, it ends up on there? So maybe, like... Aya's on there, and, like, she's uploaded all of her photos? Or Hatafe? Either or, maybe both. Aya is mentioned in this game. In the pause screen tips for extra, I believe it is. There's, like, she talks about various stuff related to the game's plot, like the origin of some of the characters, the origin of the extra boss, stuff like that. She says that she'd love to interview her once things settle down a bit. Surviving this one's kind of tough. Whoa. Oh, the bird explodes too. I thought that was a safe spot for some reason. Whoops. So we know that Aya's aware of this incident, so maybe she got her hands on Chirper somehow. This one starts off really easy, but then she starts like adding other stuff to the mix anytime now. This theoretically shouldn't be that bad, but I've still managed to like run into a bullet every time. Maybe the lasers there makes me scared to go up and down as much. Which kind of like walls me in sometimes against these little bullets. Which on their own really wouldn't be hard. Oh, got it though. I think that's one of the only last words I've actually captured in Lunatic. So are you saying that you're not the one who stopped the time? I would have been more than just a monk if I had that kind of power. Now you're scolding that I should have used mine for a greater cause. Anyway, you'll find a place where time flows normally up ahead. Go there and you'll find them. And I'll inform them about your visit through Chirper. Yokai are adapting high-tech nowadays, huh? Someday I'll have a setup with a Chirper bot that recites interesting citrus by itself, and a prayer wheel that rotates and stocks mirror automatically. I can't say that I'm not excited. I mean, there probably is like a sutra bot, like a Japanese one somewhere on Twitter, right? If not one that was made in response to that dialogue. Twitter is very impulsive like that, you know? This whole stage is like a full bar warning, honestly. The nosy spell builds up right now, almost, but I do have my bomb ready. All four of my bomb. Alright, using the first one there. I think that I can totally 1cc this as long as I use my bomb as well. The Danmaku is pretty tough overall in some places. Oh, here comes the song. Yes! I love this riff. Let me just listen to this for a minute. Damn. Too busy bobbing my head. Got my Z spell. I've made a terrible miscalculation. I came here in response to a Chirper SOS, but it's broad daylight. I'm blind! Didn't see that bit of dialogue before. Goes by kinda too fast to read again, though. Alright, I've captured this in Lunatic before. It's not really that hard. Right, but you have to sit like perfectly still for that. And hope that nothing hits you on the other end. Oh. Wait. Oh, okay, so it's not a straight line. It moves with you, I think. Like, as she fires it? Maybe not. I don't know. Last time I sat, like, directly still. I thought they were, like, close straight lines, but they're not. Weird. Okay, I guess I misread that. That actually kind of makes it easier, though. But it doesn't really help if I didn't know. Alright, another bomb. Can't believe I lost so much to Mistia. This is just so catchy. I need to use my Z spell instead of a bomb. If I have something ready for the Death Berry at the end of the stage. Alright, we're just gonna Z spell here. Marionette Saber Soccer. Is that our first time seeing that? It is. It's launching like big rainbow swords. It's nifty. I'd rather have something a bit closer themed to the character than like giant rainbow swords, which seems a little bit too, I don't know, fangamey-ish. But it's okay. It's just cool that they put something there, I guess, you know. We all know this game's non-canon anyway. Like, it even has like a warning on the title screen that just says fan game up in the upper left the whole time you're there. So it really doesn't want to be confused for a canon game. I mean, I think people would have a pretty hard time confusing it for one unless they just didn't know what Toho was. They thought that, like, all these fan games they're seeing were canon. I think anyone who knows what Toho is, and has actually played Toho, would know. But I guess those are the people that need to be reminded then, is the point. I don't think this one's that bad. Also, I'm still not really sure what the deal with this character is. She only ever shows up here, aside from maybe in one of the cutscenes. And we could say the same about stuff like Tojiko, I guess. It's fine to have characters like that now and again. I'm not really saying much about it, but this part's really cool. I've said it every other time I've been through here. Like Egyptian text. I love that. Surprised it only reached this part as like one danger of it. I feel like it's a bit more than that. Death fairies being death fairies, you know? Got another bomb. Alright, I guess it's not really all that bad. We haven't had deserts until yesterday, and time's flowing normally here, which means that I've hit the right spot. No matter how many countermeasures I work out, you overcome them. 'Tis a shame. My nemesis was nearly within reach. In the name of Time Stopper Sakuya, Gensokyu's time will never be stopped. Sakuya, you are not a superhero. This isn't your character. I know you're having fun, but... And it's time for you to withdraw your desert and pyramid. I've got a lot of shy faces here that don't like sunlight. I thought this was more like a big obelisk than a pyramid. Of course, I don't think that any vampires can survive from that waterfall. Oh. There's a town named Nico, which means sunlight, and is famous for waterfalls. Okay, so, yeah. I know the word they're referring to. I see. They had to explain the joke in a translator's note in dialogue. Why is Sakuya's route so rough like that? I didn't mean that sunlight. That aside, I'm surprised that a human is capable of manipulating time. Just like that damned god of wisdom, Thoth. What a shame. You could have been more than just a maid if you ever worked for me. I devoted my life to the night. Your solar ship is never meant for me. I also betrayed the god of sun, Ra. Do you understand my feelings when my god set me up to be a clown, just to gather faith from humans? I know you've probably heard this phrase before, and I hate to say it again. I don't know and I don't care. Sakuya is harsh on this route. They broke my legs, but they didn't break my spirit. At last, I gathered my lost arms and legs and secretly planned everything in this land. I spread my body parts around Castlevania. Find them, Sakuya. Nobody will stop me. My apopsis program has already reached its final form. Is that the first time we've heard that term in all the routes? This time manipulation will strike like a giant meteor and put an end to our conflicts. That pop... Is it like... Apophis, maybe? I don't know. But Apophis only has a, like a 1 in 1 million chance of impacting. Not to mention that will be like 20 years later. That doesn't sound like Sakuya at all. And it's moving from Aten asteroids to Apollo asteroids. This mythology is getting more Greek than Egyptian, I'd say. I know you can't understand how I felt. My feelings when I had to cross the seas and change my forms with all my wits. Nor can you realize my true identity. I am Set, the greatest lord of wind and storm. Strength means everything. Your time tricks could never work in my Danaku of power. The dialogue is really something today. Set's non-spells are also really something. Okay, maybe I'm making too big of a deal out of it. I did just fine there, actually. Right, so this works better if you can, like, direct it to the side. Oh, and I'm thinking of a different one later. Yeah, like, it does this weird screen move thing in Lunatic. Then, like, sometimes it moves back. Like, do the fists hit it and push it or something? I don't really understand it. Do I have any bombs? Yeah, I do. Okay, bomber here. is some hectic shit, let me tell you. Oh, damn. I keep thinking I'll be able to death bomb in time. I would have so many more lives right now if I just used all my bombs properly. Really. What attack is this again? Oh, it's like the giant ball attack. Okay, so it's gonna, like, do that. Got it, right. Okay, I'm alright down there. She's throwing another one! Can you not? Okay, I'm just bombing this. I made it pretty far, but, like, once there's 2 balls out, no, that's not happening. Absolutely not. Alright, another bomb, thank you. Whoa. That's big. Okay, dodge that. Maybe bombs don't do that much damage after all. It's a shame. Alright, we almost have our Z spell, but we can't get it without another bomb, which we just got, so that's good. Oh. Okay, that's just a warning saying that the downlock is gonna come up. It's okay. Okay. Good death bomb. I didn't get my Z spell there, though. Okay, I've got it now. Alright, bit of a waste, but I'm just gonna use it here. I'll probably be doing another run after this with Kaguya anyway, so stick around if you really want to see. Set stuff is insane. Like, I can't dodge anything she throws at me. It's just really, really hard on Lunatic. Everything's so fast. It's easy to get walled in by the fists. Okay. I say that as I'm actually kind of dodging one of the non-spells. Which card was this? Oh, yeah, I don't really know how to do this one. It's, like, totally incomprehensible in Lunatic. Like, you want to be inside these, but it's kind of unclear, like, when. Yeah, I don't know. This card is just, like, its own puzzle, really. Oh, really? Is that actually supposed to be a guy? I just gotta assume because Toho and because, like, well, I don't know. Kinda looks like he could be either, right? I mean, I know, like, Set's a guy in actual mythology. I just figured that they did the Toho thing, where, like, every male historical character they bring, like Prince Shotoku, is, like, made into a female, like Miko. Yeah, I've done Esther before. So, it's canonically, like, a guy's soul in a girl's body, then, is what you're saying. Interesting. Ugh. Best game. I'm enjoying it a lot so far. Thank you for the recommendation. Apophis program is no more. You know, wait, when Sakura said it was Apophis with an H, when Set says it, it's Apophis. Let me rename it Apollo program. Sakura's dialogue is very jank so far. Someone has already done it. Power this, power that. In the end, used to rely on tricks. Make the time pull again. Come on, do it. Hey, I'm not the one who's playing with time. Please. Like, they should have written this route a bit better. It's the Kin of Thoth, my bird friend, who stopped it. And here we go again. Reducing risks by dividing responsibilities among multiple culprits. I heard you only get one chance in this society. Gotta be careful. Anyway, I will not let you meet the birdie. Click. What was that? I activated my trap card. Forbidden Spell Pyramid's self-destruction device. You will not escape. You and my temporary body will be buried together. The world. It doesn't work? This is a routine that counters time freeze. Do you really like time freeze when time's already freezing? I don't know. Apparently not. Mm-hmm. I do kind of like the plots where the Stage 5 boss turns out to be like the actual mastermind though. I like double dealing character for that. A long time ago when I had ambitions of making my own fan game, which maybe I'll still do someday if I find the time and the motivation, I had a plot plan like that. Like the Stage 5 boss was manipulating the Stage 6 boss. But they're okay with it. They knew they were being manipulated. They just wanted to be used by someone. I can program Danmaku just fine, but when it comes to like making music and graphics, I just suck ass. So that's kind of what's holding me back. But I guess in this day and age, it's probably pretty easy to find people to collab with. So maybe if I ever hit a good spot in my life where I've got that kind of time, I'll go back to it. I don't think this part was like this for the other characters. I don't remember this pattern at all. This is like pretty distinct. I like the Danmaku coding myself, yeah. Shit. Thinking about Danmaku, but not thinking about dodging it. Oh, really? So there are split paths. I had no clue. I didn't notice that until now. I haven't, like, gone through stage practice and, like, replayed the stages outside of actual runs. So I haven't, like, noticed that kind of thing. That's really cool. Thank you for letting me know that. Is that how you get to, like, the alternate cards? Because I saw there were a couple... Shit. Spell cards in Extra. No, actually, I think they were in stage 5. There was, like, a combo card between Mystia and, like, this butterfly character I didn't really recognize. I think it was in stage 5. Do you know how you're supposed to trigger that? Instead of, like, Mystia's solo card? Yeah, let me do it in spell practice on hard. But I wonder how you get to it in an actual run, assuming you can. Sakuya, come with me. Hello, my mistress. I've heeded your call. I have to say, you've become much stronger than I thought. By your grace. So, Reimu got Genji, and Marissa got Mima. Like, old characters that we'd like to see again. But Sakuya just gets Remelia. I guess that's all they could really do without, like, implying the fan theory that she was, like, a vampire killer and, like, had that kind of past history or something. It could be, but it was, like, located in stage 5 instead of, like, in another category. But there isn't, like, an extra spell category in this game, so I'm not sure. At this rate, time should be flowing soon for the entire Gensokyo. The whole Gensokyo. All I need to do is punish the last culprit. Toki! How did you find out that I was the true culprit? I've been deflected all the lights with my 7 color wings so nobody could find me. You're missing a punchline here, but let's talk about that later. You look like a native. How did you get to know the Egyptian gods? Oh, I don't know why, but Set gifted me a tomb. I think she means tome, like the book she's holding, right? Oh, so she's just mispronouncing it out of stupidity, okay. I was told that I was the best candidate to inherit some Toto god's power, so she means Thoth. Moving from Sato to Tokyo doesn't sound like a bad idea once I get out. I know you want me to say the punchline, but I'm not in the mood for that. She talking about the whole Toki thing? Probably. So that's what happened. Set wanted to steal Thoto, I should say Thoth, God's power for his own benefits. And to do that, they found you in Ibis to inherit the knowledge of the Tome of Thoth. Set couldn't find any Ibis in their place. How sad. Why is the dialogue getting worse? Ibis went extinct there in 19th century. It was a good idea for vampires. A good era for vampires, though. Sato isn't doing any better. We're in danger. That's why I can't stay in Gensokyo. You froze the time so you could slip through the barrier? Now I get it. I'm also surprised there's humans who can't be stopped through time. So we're set in Shiran. 1, 2, 3. Oh, baby, a triple. What? But you will not bother me ever again, as this is what Shiran and every bird on Sherpa worked so hard for. I will not be staying in such place. I'll return to Sato before the time goes completely back to normal. The true foundation of Gensokyo is the willpower of humans. Your appearance in Gensokyo as a humanoid means that the abyss of outside world have already went. I'll show you what I mean in spell practice after, by the way. Yeah, it kinda does, huh? I am not alone. With the power gifted by Set, plus the energy from other birds, including myself, is like 3. Not to mention my power that dyes my wings in 7 colors with a great fusion of ancient magic and modern science. Chirper. Together, there's no bound to the greatness of our strength. In Marissa's route, she actually flies off screen, then comes back, thinking she could go through the barrier. So it would have kind of been spoilers there. I don't know if she'll do it here. I don't think so. You're just a yokai with feathers, not a saint, not some great evil spirit or ancient queen or anything. You're not even close to a divine spirit attached to a grimoire. I can't just watch you die in vain. Or, I should say that I can't let the culprit get away from the responsibility for starting this incident. No one's born to be a hero. A hero is the one who bears everyone's dreams and makes them come true. I'll fly across the barrier and break the limits of yokai. The true rebellion where yokai subjugate humans. The trump card of yokai will be born on the island of Sato. The illusion ends here, and we shall be as one. I haven't practiced any of this stuff, as I mentioned, so don't expect a spicy performance here in the least. I do remember, her first non-card card being kind of harder than the stuff that comes after. Or at least, in my opinion, but the next couple bits weren't this bad, I don't think. Yeah, maybe Sakuri's damage is a little bit low. Yeah, I'm actually wondering, is the danger thing pre-coded, or is it based on your past performances there? You happen to know that? Oh, I was supposed to move to the right. I was too busy watching the bullets in front of me. I didn't notice she moved. These little, pellet bullets get pretty dense. I guess there's kind of, paths to move through them. Kind of. Yeah, it feels like it would be. It's just, I don't know if they'd go to the trouble of coding that, but... Ow. I'm gonna assume it is, then. The game really, does just encourage you to spam bombs and get through stuff. When you get the bad ends, at least with Marissa, it actually says, try again, spam bombs more. So we'll probably see the same kind of shtick with Sakura here today. Ooh, I could have hit through that, but... Okay, maybe I was wrong about the other parts getting easier. I do remember this card being kind of tricky. Through that pretty quickly. Oh, okay. Hitbox. Now that every other time I've made it to this part, I've assumed that the purple kills me and tried to get up close to her. Speaking of the stage background. Not this time. The stone pebbles. Philosopher's fruity pebbles. Move out of the way. I tried to get under that. Oh, this one's that bad either. Maybe after today, if I don't get a 1cc, I should do a bit of off-stream practice, then come back as probably either Reimu or Marissa, and actually just get good and do it. It'd be cool to get a 1cc on Lunatic. I gotta stop looking over and reading chat. Oh, that's a good point. I guess it does give that to you. This one, I still don't know how to do. I'm actually just gonna do this. It seems to me like you have to move backwards through those fairies lines of bullets, but they're ridiculously fast. Is there something I'm not getting there? I like this part of the music. Nice climax. This card. Did I go far enough? Oh. I could have gone up, but had trouble. You really do want to like stream it far to the side. But there's a delay here, so I have to sit here for a bit. Okay, now I move. Oh. All for nothing. Now we got this one again. I still don't know if the whole hollow thing is just supposed to be her name. Hold on. It's well done. The whole game is really high quality. Like, it's one of the best Danmaku fan games I've played, probably. I would say definitely, actually. I think it is the best one. I haven't played all that many yet, but... And even with bombs, maybe I'm gonna have to practice this a bit more. Either that or just spam them preemptively, but I never really liked doing that. There's a lot of high difficulty cards in this game that I'd have to use them on, so it'd be a really messy run. Ooh. Yeah, when I first got here, I kind of thought of the gimmick that Okina used as well. It's a little bit reminiscent, just obviously a bit more expanded. The whole game is kind of reminiscent of the Star and Four Seasons, in that like there's so many different shot type combinations that you can pick. Alright, last one. Song of Nipponia. Spell card names in this game are so weird. How long am I able to sit here for? I guess that one. Oh, those spread open pretty wide, I didn't realize. I was sitting there thinking it was okay, but no. They're like kind of spread lasers. Got it. Oh, don't really want to be over there. This gets hard at the end. I keep bombing thinking that the birds hit me, but they don't. The bullets behind them do, though. Oh. Come on already. And if I actually manage to make it this far in one continue, this is going to be like a really stressful part. Oh, yeah. I forgot I had my Z spell built up. Whoops. I also haven't managed to see her, her last word in a run yet. I think I saw it in spell practice, but, you know, I don't really understand, like, what triggers whether or not a boss uses their last word. Scarlet Devil Mansion. Although the time around the lake stayed frozen, the time of the devils had been flowing already. Speaking of which, my mistress, I saw a mysterious illusion that forbidden spell pyramid. Well, really, his hair is very blue today. Oh, that was a close one, wasn't it? We've restored the mansion. Would you like to get involved this time? Why would I ever get my hand on your matters? Your battles are yours to settle. No punctuation. We're the familiars of the night. That straight sunlight in the desert is way too dazzling for us. The cold last time was pretty rough too, though. Mrs. Patchley. Patchley's married? I'd kindly suggest that you do some physical exercises outside. Oh, that's what you mean. Okay, cool. I'll make sure to trigger that next time. I really want to see it. Thank you for letting me know that. You're fated to live longer than me, so why not live healthier? Chew. Corin? Who? What? Oh wait, no, that's really in the back. Who's that up front? Who's Corin? Wait, who is that up front? Is that the vampire from, The Last Comer? I know there's a vampire in there. Who is that? Who the hell's Corin? Is this, like, part of, like, some big, fanon canon thing, like... Oh, so it is her, it is her. So the last comer is by the same person. Coincidentally, the last comer is the game, like, I played just before this one, actually. I didn't really look into much based on devs, so I didn't know it was the same person. Okay. Wow. It all makes a bit more sense now. I don't really know who she is in terms of, like, why she's here yet, but yeah. Good to have confirmed, thank you. So the fear towards the yada yada yada, it's a bad end. But that'll be tomorrow morning. And I think once I get through the credits, it'll tell me, do better next time, spam bombs. Oh no, it won't this time. Sakura's root dialogue was really weird. I've complained about it throughout, but like... So Japanese has this thing called furigana, where they'll put like extra smaller characters above something to say what it means or how to read it situationally. And I can tell that the game does that a lot in Japanese. Toho itself does that a lot. And Reimu and Marisa's roots, they translated it properly. Like, they put the text above the text, like where it should have been. But I noticed in Sakura's root, outside of I think like stage 1, maybe? It just didn't exist. It's like Sakura's root never got proofread or like finished completely. The translation of it. It's really strange. I don't really get that. Let me check that thing in spell practice real quick here. Doesn't really matter what I pick here. Let me... Oh, sorry, easy. Where is it? Yeah, it's right here. I want to know how to trigger this. See, check this out. It's got Mistia and this butterfly character. Maybe she's from one of the same universe games as well. I don't remember her from the last comer, but she's probably in another one. So, yeah, there's that. I'm wondering how you trigger this card. It'd be weird if it were spell practice only, because I think it'd be like the only thing that is Super Z last word. So, Mistia has a Super Z last word? She's never used it when I beat her before. Is there like some kind of requirement I have to fulfill? Because I've seen sets. It's this one. So it's weird that I triggered set but not Mistia, you know? I haven't gotten that dual card to come up in an actual run yet. Oop. Nibet Tepet. Yeah, I know that Nibet is the stage 5 mid-boss, but is that the same character there? Or stage 4? Hold on. Yeah, here's her card. Is that the same character? Hold on. Oh, it is. Okay. She shows up as, like, just a textless mini-boss, so I didn't realize. Interesting. Yeah, you're right. What do you mean? So, what... Do you know, like, what determines whether or not a boss or anyone uses their last spell on you? Yeah, I guess so. Is it like a help thing in game? Manual. Let me check this real quick. What's it say about the danger level? Oh yeah, so it does track that. That's cool. So we confirmed that thing about the danger level. Basics. Oh. Mentions this here. Counter incantation. That's just yours. With 80% of the stage's gauge filled, when you clear chapter without dying. Oh. So you just have to, like, get through 80% of the stage without dying. Okay, that's interesting. So I assume that, like, maybe for Mistia and Nibet, maybe you need to, like, do 40% of the stage, like, you know, 4/5 of the stage up until that point without dying. I don't know. Alright, let me go grab a coffee, use the bathroom real quick, and I will come back and do a run with Kaguya next. BRB. Okay, I'm back. I'm just gonna give Kaguya a shot. Yeah, as far as stage practice goes, like, I figure if I can't get a 1cc tonight, this will be my last shot for the night, by the way, I will practice over the weekend. So, yellow's nice for getting more bombs. I think I will stick with it. I just need to bomb more. I really just need to bomb more. A lot more. Alright, so this is like a super wide sort of laser set. Kaguya moves so slow. Do you see this? Do you see how slow she is? It's probably hard to really tell unless you're moving her yourself, but she is a snail. Even when unfocused. Oof. I guess I'm not really surprised. She takes an eternity to get anywhere, if you know what I mean. Okay. Yeah, I guess I don't want to try to move through that if I can help it. Just go around it. If at all possible. Come on, come on. It takes forever to kill anything. I guess you could kind of like shotgun with a few of the lasers, but I feel like that's just really, really risky. Yeah, if I can't 1cc this run, I'm probably going to want to try for like a legit attempt with Marissa or Reimu. Reimu is usually my comfort character, but I like Marissa's move speed in this game. It's just right for me, kind of. It feels kind of like official series Reimu a little bit. And she does really good damage. I don't necessarily need Reimu's homing in this game, but we'll see. Not sure yet. Definitely one of those two, I'd say. So I know that you can use your Z spell and still capture a spell card even if you use it. It doesn't count as like failing it, even though it's functionally a bomb. But I wonder if you can, aside, well, I guess Hoto's case is different. I wonder if you can use it when the boss is using their last word, like their Z spell, and get like all those bonus points toward the next life. So I noticed in the manual just a minute ago it said those have a lot of points, logically. So that'd be a good method for getting lives sooner. Giggle. As the master of all things eternally instant, time manipulation could never work on me. That's what I figured. With Aaron out of the house, I can finally head out and solve an incident like I've always wanted. La la la. Hee hee hee. Who's calling my name? A sneaky request from a noble princess. I never thought my hee hee dies had become this famous. Dies paid from hee hee Hirokane? That's the like scarlet ore. Whenever did such a rare material become so common? Hee hee hee. It's actually just a mix of matter and flour. What are those? A sheltered girl like her couldn't possibly figure it out. Gasp! Hold on. An enemy that can manipulate Hirokane, metal that can't be produced on Earth. One who can call forth time stasis, rejecting all change. Could this incident be the work of the Lunarians? Heek. Why are you preparing a spell card? So you figured it out, have you? Then I'm left with a little choice. Now, behold the true essence of my scarlet dye, more vivid than even the legendary Hirokane. Sure. So I am going to pay attention to that danger meter and kind of use that as like a guideline for when to bomb. It's a very nice mechanic now that I understand it. I'll be honest, I don't think I even really noticed it in my first run through. Probably because it never changed. That's a good point. Actually. I do look forward to seeing Kaguya's Z spell. I mean, I don't know why this is low danger. I think I bombed this like half the time. Yellow bomb is good if you can get it directly on them, otherwise it's kind of lackluster. I really do need to try to use that to my advantage. Maybe I should just like auto bomb everything that has like a danger level of 1 to it. Am I gonna time this out? Do I do that little damage? Oh boy. This is pretty high danger level. Yeah. Fair enough. Yep. And that's why. It's a little scary. For stage 1, it's a little scary. Can you take it out without using another one, though? Back to the left. Alright, not bad. Alright, so yeah, like you can see up in the upper left, like the counter was full, pretty much. Oh, so I guess bombing in the stages is fine. It's literally just dying, when you think of it, huh? That you can't do. So, can I... I don't have my Z spell built up, so I can't use it, no. I wonder if I could've. I'll try to save it for, like, the stage 2 boss's, last word and find out. Oh, dang, right into that. Oh well. Really? A Lunarian? How am I supposed to beat that? Well, as the old idiom says, a monkey grasping for the moon shall fall, totally ignoring her hasty conclusion from a minute ago. Very well, that fine dress of yours looks old, so I'll get a fresh coat of dye. Scarlet dye is happy to be my specialty, after all. Surrounding yourself with nothing but red will drive you mad someday. Thank you, Kaguya. Good advice. Learn that from racing. Just hit like the whole screen with this, huh? And I can wiggle it up and down a little. Doesn't really change too much about it though, honestly. So this is just high danger because I've died here before, I guess. Theoretically. I did relatively okay here last time. But I will be very ready to bomb. Okay, I think the next wave is actually pretty tricky though, right? Get through some of these guys now. Allow myself a fair bit of time, maybe. Yeah, I'm just gonna bomb. I don't know if like those spirit things there hit me or not. Looks like they probably would, honestly. I think that was a good bomb. So yeah, I see the gauge like going up in the upper left. That's the boss's last word gauge. Really unique mechanic. I don't know if I ever would have caught on to that if it weren't for the manual explaining it though. I kind of figured it had something to do with my performance, but I didn't really know how. Because I got to see all of the last words, aside from, like, Mistia and What's-Her-Face's combo one in my initial hard mode run. And, of course, Horo's, because I didn't realize I had to use mine, so she'd counter it. And then I stopped seeing quite as many when I took the leap up to Lunatic, so... Safety bomb. Alright, so it looks like the boss fight counts for that too, it's not just the stage. This is looking worse than I thought. I'd better hurry, or else the Lunarian's magic will devour this land very soon. You're dead set on it being Lunarians, huh? Chi. They can devour the land, but they can never devour Chi. Who's this stupid Chi, anyway? I get that she's like a toothpick Tsukumogami. Why does she look so much like Cerna? And even if they did, I'd stick him from the inside, just like the legendary Isun Boshi. Wrong game. The enemies appearing later seem to know less about the incident. This is a real dud of a script, if you ask me. And perhaps things are already veering off course? You're a rather rude princess, aren't ya? You're the one whose head's gone off course. No one should be moving around without our priest's protection. A dainty little princess such as yourself should just sit tight and wait for Chi here to rescue ya. Just like the legendary Sunboshi. You really want to push that, don't you? It is kind of funny that, like, her name starts with Chi, so I think it's at least nodding to her somehow. I don't really know why, though. Eternal stasis grants no salvation, nor any path to utopia. The situation may not appear to be worsening, but only on a surface level. It's an idea devised by mere cowards who reject change. Quit throwing long words around. That's all Greek to me. For a couch activist princess like yourself, I say some serious Danmaku exercise you should order. She's got a good point. Okay, right. I shouldn't be moving around to hit her more, because then I throw off the streaming there. Really bad. Bad. Can't do that. Ponytail Serna, huh? Okay. So those all aim, like, early on. I think not as they go, unlike this one, which is gradual. So 2 shots of this. I don't know if moving back to the middle is good. It seems fine. Yeah, that works. Stream this. Touch this. Move back to the right a little. This isn't really bad. That bad of a card once you know how it works. It's kind of... You really have to keep an eye on my character. Yeah, but Senna dresses better. She also has a sick tan. I feel like I barely move fast enough to get around these actually as Kaguya. I'm really kind of concerned here. I feel like I'm dodging Blazing Wheel. Oh, I couldn't actually get by that. Wow. That's a sad place to lose my first life. This part just still really scares me. I've been bombing this like every time because it's just so much stuff on the screen. I guess maybe if you just keep moving like in a circle, everything just kind of misses you. Somewhat. Okay, I actually captured that. Okay, so I have my Z spell ready for what comes up after this. So I can see if you can use that there. Come on, Kaguya, hit her. Damage is okay if you can get a bunch of the lasers like inside of them, but there aren't many situations where that's really even close to feasible. This is about one of the only ones, really. Alright, good. Z-spell, Z-spell. Alright, I'll do a little bit of damage first. Yeah, it still shows up at the bottom, so I think I can use it. Oh, no, I can't. Why didn't they get rid of the little press user key to Z-spell thing, then? Dang. Gee, I don't want some stubborn, talky princess who won't listen to me. There. You'll understand big words too, someday. Gentle voice. Get out of here. Go mess with the priest, why don't ya? Gee, speaking of which, what are you the princess of, anyway? Well, we're the princess of, like, sort of running a hospital in the bamboo forest, casually masterminding the distribution routes of drug-like stuff in the human village. You know, that sort of thing. Wouldn't Aaron manage the drug routes? A rich and powerful family? I'm so sorry for my previous rudeness. Please take a company's best toothpicks for use in your mansion. Starting an incident just to sell toothpicks? I bet even that Shrine Man hasn't seen a motive like this before. Alright. Semester lives in this stage at least. One from the mid-boss and usually one from points around here too. And I'm gonna Z-spell. Big Moon. How many games have Kaguya as a playable character? I think the only other, like, Danmaku one I played that had her was that, like, shitty one with Suika. The stupid Divine Liquor one, or Heaven's Liquor, whatever it's called. I won't remember the name, but I think you could play as, like, Suika, Flander, Kaguya, and someone else in there. That game was not very good, though. I hope that Ets Kaguya means excited Kaguya, because she was pretty fucking hyped in that splash art. I feel like there's some kind of official art or something that has her looking like that, right? I don't know. I've seen the pose before somewhere. Oh, yeah, you're right. It does look like how Okino looks in Extra. Yeah. That is actually exactly what I was thinking of. It wasn't like traced or something, was it? I mean, I can't imagine it would actually be traced. No one would traces on art, but like... maybe they used it as some kind of inspiration. Okay, good. Seems that this priest of theirs is the one commanding the yokai who aren't frozen. I'll have to find her as soon as possible then. Well, joke's on you, it's actually a him. Kind of. Are you the priest I've heard about? That's not it. Is your group affiliated with the Lunarians? I don't, think so. Oh, for goodness sake. Young folk these days just don't understand the true terror of the moon. Possibly. But, no, perhaps. Even the ones from the photo games. Huh. Depending on one's point of view, since we can wield such frightening power with ease, we may very true be worthy of being called the true Trifocusers, the chosen ones with third eye awakened, those who know the world beyond the veil. I'm the true I can't read that. The text looks kind of shit, and I'm not sure what it's saying. Like, Furhatsit? One who knows the world beyond the veil. For your information. The true TLDR. The chosen ones with their TLDR. That doesn't sound half bad. From this day forth, I shall take that name on Chirper. This conversation's too nuanced for me. Well then. In the name of the chosen ones with third eye awakened, those who know the world beyond the veil, I command thee, O azure flame that dances in the void, become the herald of a great priest, and grant the Buddha's retribution to those who resist. Yeah, see, like, when I came here with Sakuya, none of that text was there. Like, the little text, the Furigana stuff, the Ruby stuff. It was just missing entirely. This Kaguya suit seems to be written fine so far. Maybe the translator just really didn't like Sakuya and they made someone else do it. The, danger level must only be scaled on your, like, death history to it, not your bomb history. Because that one specifically said 1 out of 3 captured, but it was danger level 1, so... I guess it's just warning you about cards that, like, you've unexpectedly died to before. Not cards that you've given up on and bombed on purpose. Interesting. Yeah, I did die to this one last time. Thinking I was safe, but I wasn't. Alright, and I'm bombing again there. Oh. Damn, okay. I really gotta try to get the bombs right on top of them. Is that actually true? Are they forming humans? I don't really know all that super much about the Lunarians, even though I've read at least some of the related material. Chirper is the repository for... oh, whatever. It's just Subterranean Sun, I'm not reading this again. It's way too fast. Alright, so this is the last one, then she's got her last word after. Z-spell. would say for this one. I've probably gotten this every time, honestly. Cool. It's a little bit weird not having the gravity there, right? Oh no, I let it spawn on me. Well, I mean, at least it was the last word, but a little embarrassed. Why? As a keen youth who obtained forbidden intellect, if this were a work of fiction, I'd be a perfect fit for the protagonist. If I had to say one way or the other, I'm like a kid getting all hopped up because she got to hold a pocket knife for the first time. Ouch! It reminds me of myself back in the day when I was saying all that 5 impossible request stuff. Talk about embarrassing. I see, so next I must learn how to properly control this power. Once I master it, then I too shall be as strong and valiant as my virtual self on Chirper. You're a prime example of the frog stuck in the well. That's a Japanese expression. Well, the giant toad's pond after all, but they also say the frog in the well knows how blue the sky is. Meanwhile, I know how blue the earth is. Is that supposed to be intellectual, Kaguya? It wasn't. Alright, stage 4. This will be Sutra Girl Ninbutsu. And I'm bombing. Almost dying. Oh song, oh prayer. This part is just silly. Why am I having a hard time tracking where I am? I think it's the lasers. Very so close to the bottom of the screen. I should have Z-spelled. I can't hear the piano thing in the music. Ooh. Stage is tough. If I fail the 1cc, this is something I'll definitely have to practice a bit. This part. And the prior part too, for sure. Mostly the prior part, honestly. This part's doable, even if it's scary. And that other part, though. Ah, gotcha. It went over my head. Spell card. I do appreciate that those lasers move slowly, since you don't really know, like, when they're gonna come out, even if you have the markers. It's just friendly. Okay, I bombed. It's okay. I didn't die. And I'm just timing that out. Kaguya. This one. Oh. The impossible request that I can't solve when it's to none. Why? Yeah, honestly, like, the prayer beads are, like, a grandiose enough thing. It's kind of like Gyakurin's big scroll, you know? I could see it. Okay, I've got my Z-spell. Maybe I should just use it soon. Okay, I'm gonna Z-spell this instead of bombing. That really is just what I should be doing generally. Alright, just gonna do it here. I'm scared. Danger zone coming up. I can see why. Okay, death bomb. Yeah, but it's like a reference on every character. I guess the author just really wanted to make the reference. You know, I wonder if the reason it's not as clear of a reference in English in Marissa and Sakuru's roots, like, I gotta wonder if maybe different translators did different roots or something. It could just be that it's different in Japanese too, but I don't know. Tough to really say. That pompous-looking lady has got to be the priest. Now I shall solve the incident and become an amazing hero. A princess filled with such ignorance and worldly affliction. Fools may seem wise on the outside, but are foolish within. Tweet Master. And with a showy outfit like that, you must surely be a colossal fool yourself. Have the Lunarians... You're still stuck on this, Kaguya? Really sunk so low as to lend their power to a yokai like this? Yeah, they both have basically the same hair, don't they? It's that Hime cut. I wish for nothing more than to grant the wishes of my suffering disciples. I want only to grant salvation. Can you really call it folly to wish for a glimmer of salvation in this whole low world where even the faithful are forsaken? To want to be of use to others around you? What happened in this box? What is this? Oh please, you've got "I want followers" written all over your face. How do we even know what she's talking about, Kaguya? Also, her look at Kaguya's eye, it's like falling off her face there. This particular portrait did not work out very well. Indeed, I want followers and monetary offerings more than anything. Yet my desires are truly fickle in nature and know no end. Thus, I want to be recognized by others. I brought about this incident for the sake of those who depend on me. Now, do you really have the right to dismiss my deed as an act of foolishness? Happiness that starts and ends in a closed world, only benefiting those within. It's a very well-crafted structure, if you ask me. Why? Because even if it were to be overthrown by force, the overthrower would seem to be the sinful one. The ones on the receiving end are simply poor victims. Yes, and that's why I'll be the one to overthrow you. There's no way I'd let you have some confined eternal happiness. How unfortunate. But people of faith are said to triumph over such persecution, and leave their names in history. In this moment, my faith is being tested. Listen, my disciples. When you are alone in sorrow, believe that a second stands beside you. I'm gonna cancel her. When two are yet still in sorrow, believe that a third is there. That third is none other than I. That's kind of like a lackluster title to have. Third wheel. I like to think that those last couple lines are what it says in her chirper bio. Or maybe it's like her character title that's in there. That's funny to me either way, though. The chirper bio just says Stage 4 boss. Usually I just bomb this one. But actually that kind of worked out just fine. Okay. Good death bomb. Kaguya does no damage. How do you have lasers that do no damage, Kaguya? Take a bit of inspiration from Marissa, please. Ugh. I was only hitting with like one, so it was just taking forever. Man. I think Kaguya is probably the worst character so far. It's fun playing as just for the novelty of it, since you don't really get to very often. So, I mean, I'm glad I did, but I'm not going to be 1C seeing this game with her. No way. At least I've gotten used to her speed for the most part, I guess. I haven't run into too many bullets because she's slow, just I'm running into bullets because I'm bad. So, no different from usual, really. Okay. Oh, it's fine. I somehow bombed it that in time. Come on, hit her, hit her. Hit her. Finally. I feel like I'm just trying to, like, time out all their cards. Oh, I thought I was gonna squeeze through there. I wasn't sure. I was ready to bomb, though. And good thing, too. Fighting set with Kaguya is gonna be tough. We're gonna bomb a lot. How is this still going? I've been under her this whole time. Oh, yeah, please. Yurika was rough to play as. I'm just gonna get up here and, like, bomb. Maybe the bomb really doesn't do much damage. It seemed to me, like, during Edster that it was like a Mountain of Faith bomb. Like, it does a bunch if you can, like, put it on them. There's, like, nothing there. Ooh. How did that not hit me? Maybe this shot type isn't for me. I don't know. I don't like this card much. Okay. It's tough to tell for sure if you'll be safe or not. Come on, just a little more, just a little more. I have to move it. Oh, come on. I died there? Ah, that really sucks. Alright, let me drink my coffee before we move on here. One moment. Missed line. Oh well. You're still sane enough to pretend to be poor, pitiful victims at the very least. What a crooked-minded princess. You're calling me a Sagishi, aren't you? Why does it bother to put, like, the Japanese there? I'm not wrong, am I? I thought that Aosagi was earlier. Oh, the Sagi. I see. Asagi no Shi, then. I get it. A Huron master. Okay. Yeah, that. You want me to stop the incident, I assume. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about it. Absolute reliance on external power. Only the Buddha's vow shall grant salvation. Ah, jeez, you're full of both the moon's magic and the earth's impurity. Help save those bird brains. Give them the boot, Mr. Buddha. Heh, pun. So, is she supposed to be the priest, or is it Set? I don't know, just the way all the characters talk about other characters confuses me. I'm too smooth-brained for this. Because as far as I can tell, like, she didn't actually do anything. And Set, I mean, I know Set wasn't the one that stopped time, but he gave the book to Horo, who did. Because the stupid Toki connection was somehow just barely enough for her to be able to actually do it. Oh, okay. That was a death bomb because I moved slower than I thought I did. Okay, I still have bombs on me right now. It's fine. Ugh. It does look like boots. They're just shoes, I assume, right? I don't know what Kaguya's feet look like. I don't know what she wears, actually. I gotta tell you, that's not something I memorize. I ain't one of those. I love the model desert. I'm blind. Okay, so I mean, I didn't die in the stage. I like death bombed. So I'm gonna try using this here. No, nothing. I mean, I guess the extra spell could come up, like, later when What's-Her-Face comes up. Maybe it happens, like, if you capture both of their cards in the same run or something. That seems, like, symbolic enough, you know? Streaming those is kind of tough. Especially when I don't even really try to do it. Oops. Oh, man. Let me go. Let me out of this weird speed highway thing. Managed to death bomb. I still have bombs left, as always. Stand up kind of far so I can clear more bullets with the bomb. Do more damage to whatever's on screen too. Some of the rainbow parts again. I guess these fairies have met Horo before, even though they're down here with Set. I wonder where Horo is during all this. Like, is she in the temple with the pyramid, whatever this is, with Set right now? Like, I know you encounter her outside after the escape, but like, does she escape when it starts blowing up, or is she just waiting out there the whole time? Really minor thing to wonder about, though. But it would help, like, explain the fairies, kind of. You know, actually, like, both of their cards even, they're not even really that hard, honestly. Ooh, shit. I usually do this part just fine, but Kaguya is too slow! Yeah. I caught onto that from the other routes. Marissa complained about her house not being here, and then Set agreed to give her the Kinjuto afterwards. But then she blew it up anyway. Oh, damn. Goodbye, another life. Hello, another life. Thank you, Nabet to Fat. I see, like, because I took longer on her, like, I'm later on in the stage. It's one of those things. Yeah, I don't know, I'm not feeling this with Kaguya. I'm not really feeling anything with Kaguya. Aside from no damage and slow movement. Oh. I thought it was gonna do the thing again. It was a bit chilly out with time frozen, but all of a sudden, it's blazingly hot. This is getting a bit too harsh for a delicate highborn princess, don't you think? Rejoice, for I have trapped the sun in this land. With this, even a shut-in princess such as yourself shall soon become a healthy tanned beauty, my favorite kind. Sorry, but marriage proposals have to wait until you solve all 5 impossible requests. Plus, take a bunch of photos of King Kakuchi's seamless ceiling too. Never mind, I think I'll just stay single. Both ignorant and arrogant? Forget about the proposal. Much better. That's the entire reason I give impossible requests in the first place. So what is this incident anyway? I thought we were using the moon's magic to invite stagnation, but... The moon? I know not of what you speak. This body of mine is mere Seto craftware, for the purpose of sealing Egypt's sun. And the spell I've been using is Seto brinksmanship, meant to fasten the sun in the sky above. Everything is set in stone now. Defeating me here is pointless, so don't waste your time on such reckless conflict. It seems that the accepted style of dueling in Tokyo is to throw all your energy into dueling pointless things. You said it. I quite like that aspect of Tokyo, actually. I see. Then you shall be showered in my most fearsome of barrages, as you wish, and face the game over screen while trembling with joy. My name is Set, the mighty one and the symbol of vast power. Yeah, like that. Introducing ourselves to each other makes for a perfect final battle feeling. My name is Kaguya, the princess of the eternal and the instantaneous. I'll punish you with the mastermind in the name of the moon. Alright, also, instantaneous, to put it simply, means femto. Femto. Which, to put it simply, is a period of time so short that normal living beings can't even imagine it. And the only adornment for Danmaku is Danmaku itself. No other barrage adorned with mere words is no match for my brute force. I wanted to hear more of Kaguya's weird rant. Let's try to maybe not like have to double bomb this relatively not that crazy non-spell, or as some people would call it, cooldown. Okay, it's actually really not that bad at all. You just kind of have to be ready for it when the stream of whatever rubble or whatever, I guess, switches directions. femtosecond. Kaguya is such a femto fatale. Best girl character. Punish me for that one. Okay, I'm just bombing. The spell is really cool, yeah, it's just scary. Honestly though, like, everything Set does is kinda scary. Oh, I ran into it! Damn. I'm just gonna move up and bomb, come on. I'm doing no damage! The bomb does do a fair bit, but it's not enough to, like, insta-clear a spell. Only really early on with, like, the stage 1 boss can I actually do that, huh? So this is the big rolling ball one again. Let's get out of the way of that. The way that she, like, swings it around there is really scary. Oh, no, 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 no. How long am I invincible for? Not long enough. I'm out of bombs. Is my bomb radius smaller on this spell? Like, is it getting Mountain of Faith? Okay, the balls get smaller as they keep rolling. Ugh. Okay, I don't know how I made it through that without losing a life. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I don't like this one. Kaguya's not good at macro dodging. She's too slow for that. Oh, really? Okay. I didn't know that. Yeah, seems legit, huh? Thank you for clarifying that. I just used 3 bombs on that. Man. I think rather than more bombs... Oh, shit. I think rather than more bombs, I need a shot type that just has better bombs. Like ones that last longer and do a bit more damage, so I think I'll pick based on that. So I've been bombing pretty generously. I have died with a few in stock before, but even then, like, spamming them as often as I am, and I'm only, like, barely at the end of stage 5, and I'm out of resources entirely now. I'm gonna have to continue. Come on. This actually isn't that bad. Okay, but that's one of easier non-spells, I guess. But I don't know how to do this. This is a card I'm gonna have to, like, practice and figure out. It's so weird. Like, going in and out of those at specific times. I'll go ahead and continue and finish the run, as I've been doing. But yeah, I'm just gonna have to, like, practice up off-stream as probably Reimu with a different shot type. I'll figure out what I want to use then. The timing on it is just so weird, like the lightning traveling towards you too. I don't really know how to, like, balance it all. Yeah, in this one, I know that, like, the trick to doing it is to, like, make these go straight down so they, like, take up less screen space. The bullet stay player take up less screen space. Okay. The trick is not to mistime it, though, and move way too late. 3, 2, 1, go. That was way off. Over to the left again. I'm probably gonna time it out at this rate, but what else is new? Yeah. Why didn't they just call this Emerald Splash? Honestly, just get me out. I'm gonna have to practice, like, all of Set stuff off screen. Thank God there's spell practice. And then, we remove all unwanted materials to make them the strongest fabric possible. Enough. How long are you going to prattle on for? Well, in short, Femto is like the strongest thing ever. How did I lose to such a clown? I never felt so empty. You're a very respectful listener. I'm sure you have a talent for communication. It's too late to lift my spirits with such faint praise. I shall cast you down to the depths of the earth. Kaboop. Kaboop. It's weird, like, Sakuya's root is also the only one that didn't say that exactly, like, it said like click instead of kaboop. So it really does feel like there's a different translator at play there. I've activated the Grave Robber's punishment. It's to Kinjito's self-destruct mechanism. Nah, I don't really mind these OCs that much. There's no escape. You shall perish along with me. By me, I mean my spirit body. Help me, Aaron. Help me, Aaron! Yeah, the writing is very fangamey and fun overall. When it's translated well. Maybe this time I'll notice that thing with like the laser fairy splitting the path in two for you. I'm definitely gonna try to like Z counter the last spell of the game too, so I can see that extra spell you're talking about. I'm really curious. I will pay no heed. Now, in something like a Sonic fan game, or like a Mario fan game, I can see OCs as being kind of cringe. In most cases, I guess, like, depending on how they're introduced. Like, I've watched some, like, Mario fan game playthroughs, that kind of thing. There's like, this horror game, which has, like, human OCs in it alongside Mario, but they have, like, normal human proportions. And it's a little weird. It's a little cringe. I can kind of forgive it because the art in the game is pretty good and there's a lot of like varied stuff in it. Picaspri did a video on that, you may have seen it. I think he did one. But I don't know, it really does depend on the series. In Touhou, like, Touhou has so many characters that like, if you make your OC well enough, it really seems like they could have just been there to begin with. Oh, I just mean Sonic in general, not a specific Sonic game. Just like Sonic fan games and their OCs are like a notorious thing, right? Or just Sonic OCs in general, even outside of fan games. Alright, it's this part again. These fairies have a Star Sapphire's color scheme. Cute. This is one of the easier parts of the stage, as long as you're ready for it. And I was this time. Yeah. Let me go. Cross back over to the left. Yes, good. Okay. Maybe stage 6 itself isn't that bad. Apparently I've struggled on this part before, though. Yep, I do remember struggling on this part, actually. I don't really know what to do here. Like, do you have to maybe stop firing? I don't know. This part's cool. It doesn't seem like it'd really be that bad. I think I just got kind of caught off guard last time. Didn't really position myself well in advance. Yeah, that part's fine, honestly. It's not really that hard. Okay, and yeah, you're just invincible doing that. That's kind of good to confirm. Come with me, dear princess. Wow, she actually came to help. I figured it would probably be Aaron. Princess, we ought to at least pretend to be frozen back at home. Oh, right, yeah. Why? I'm not really surprised that Aaron's not frozen either. But, how did... I mean, I guess Genji and Mima are yokai, so they're okay. And, Remelia too. Aaron's a Lunarian. Yeah, I guess it's only humans that got frozen, so sure. Fair enough. Aaron has left, and so has Eternity. The power of the sun will soon fill Gensokyo once more. Which might make the whole punish the mastermind in the name of the moon thing a little awkward, actually. So Set was defeated. Set is only the weakest among true Yokai Land Buddhists. The weakest? I don't know about that. Set was a lot tougher than, like, Stage 2 and 3 bosses, whoever. The ultimate truth. Bum 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 bum. Set was definitely the strongest in this incident so far. Yeah, Kaguya knows. Our power level is ordered in seniority. Newcomers respect oldcomers. This is our way to decide who gets to the Wonderland. Well, Set did gift me a thick tome with a spell that freezes time, so I guess Set was a good member after all. So the tome is where all this started. Thank Moon that Lunarians aren't involved. Well, those old farts are not depraved enough to lend their power to your kind anyway. Are you one of the Moon peeps? You must have run out of your luck here. Do you know the saga of Thoth, the foreign god of Toki, written in this book? Thoth won a bet against Moon, and learned how to manipulate lunar power and time. I'm telling you, Toki as a race has been both incredibly strong and international. As Toki, you just mean Ibis again. Your bird species. So, the foreign Lunarians were even dumber than ours, and no better than birds? I'm having some mixed feelings here. I'm gonna spare you this time, because I'm gonna be quite busy after I get out of Gensokyo. See ya! She's gonna try to leap and fail again, like in Marissa's route. Maybe I should mimic Aaron's spell that builds locked rooms. Is that a spell Aaron has? Is that like a reference to astronomical entombing? I don't know. It's just because the art's off-brand, you know? Kaguya looks a little weird, especially, I think. Hold on. To end the incident, let's play Danmaku in a locked room mystery setting, shall we? I'm the murderer, and you're the victim. I said I spared you, but I don't mind taking it back. Let's play. Palak tu bima turesi. Pasi nameta bima turesi. Ana sidu kisa turesi. This wasn't hearing any of the other words. Light up the stage. I don't know what the hell that was. With wings of 7 colors, I'll play all the roles like a prodigy. Want to get recognized, don't want to get forgotten. This is the ultimate crucible that countless humans and yokai have failed. Will you be triumphant? And she's a fan game character, so yeah, probably she'll be okay. She seems pretty well liked. Yep, this first one is tough. Please. I feel like this one would be fine without like the extra layer of the tiny like diamond bullets on top. It's already hard enough with just 2. It'd feel a bit more, I don't know, fun with just those 2 layers. The lasers and the arrowheads. So pay attention to where she's going this time, so I can move over there. No, I couldn't get there. That's probably just the fan interpretation of Flandre. Unless you talk about the rainbow. Like, rainbows are like a big OC thing. I can kind of verify that from experience because in my young teens, like maybe 12, 13, around that age, but sooner, I ran a short sprite comic series, and one of my characters used rainbows. I did like Mario and Mega Man characters and whatnot, and put them in there. And I think one of the characters, like in their final form, like, I just took the outline of their sprite and just ran rainbow lines down the whole thing, and that was just how they looked. And it was really, really lame. But at that age, it's just like, rainbow is like the strongest, you know, it's all the colors. For some reason, that's just the best. And at that age, like, you don't know how to hold back, right? You don't know how to, like, make more nuanced strength. Like, Kanako's got, like, her red, blue, green color scheme with, like, her background disco ball orbs. She doesn't have all 7 colors. Not every character has to, just because they're really strong. So is this the one where you can... Yeah, you can do that. There certainly are a lot of rainbows in this game, but the characters seem well designed. The art's pretty decent. I like it overall, so I can definitely forgive it. You're saying that all of those used rainbows? I only remember Nico explicitly using rainbows out of those. She's got a couple cards that use all the colors. Modern final bosses really do have more cards, huh? I like this attack. It's nice. It's one of the more fun ones to dodge, I think. Some of her non-spells are kind of silly. Okay, I don't know. Are you really supposed to cut through there? It still seems kind of not really possible to me. Rokina using rainbows. I'm probably just forgetting though. Oh no, you just talked about her having more cards. Gotcha. This one's tough. I need to save my Z spell for the end too. So it's okay if I have to continue again, which I do. I don't know if I'll be able to really once you see this. I'll see how I feel like after an actual practice session of like specific cards and stages and stuff. But this is, in my opinion, significantly harder than like the canon games. Hello friends. Life Alchemy. That's a weird thought. So like you can't even shotgun with all of the lasers. Because they're so spread out. Just the more of these I learn how to do though, the better. Some of these starting ones aren't really bad at all. Come on already. Good. Burning is mine. Is that always what this was called? I swear, like, I look up at the spell card names and all of them seem so unfamiliar. Oh, okay. I didn't stream those properly. Route. Okay. I get the other one. Nice. That was Needle Mountain, as seen on Chirper. This is very different from Hell's Needle Mountain. As seen on TV. Is that it? I guess once you reach the end, it just waits. Weird. Alright, so I'm gonna... I assume I can just Z-spell during this any time, and she'll do her thing. I want to try it. Yep, over the rainbow. Oh yeah. So I actually did see this in, spell practice, I guess. But I only saw the hard mode version. Oh, it went away. That's strange. Oh, so she like uses it, but it's like her own bomb instead of an actual card there. Maybe now that I've triggered it though, she'll use it after, because it's in spell practice as like an actual thing, like an actual playable spell card. So I wonder like if that'll trigger now that I've done this. Or maybe you just need to do the 80% thing, and I've just never pulled it off on stage 6. But I feel like maybe I would have on my initial hard run. Maybe not. I lost quite a few lives here. I'll show it off real quick in spell practice after. But that was still pretty neat that she like counted me. I'm glad that I could see that. Ah, like her wings fall. It still didn't show up. It's probably the same requirement as everywhere else. I probably just sucked too much during my first hard run. I don't know how I got that whole gauge back. Maybe it just gave it back to me. Look, it's Miko. I mean, a lot of characters. And now she's a new follower of true Yokai Land Buddhism. I am? Wait, no, that's not Miko. It's just stupid Ronron again. She's just got Miko's headphones. Get those off. Congratulations! I'll make a scarlet robe for you. I'll make sure that Ante never runs out of toothpicks. This is going to be my first contract. I'll give you a chirper device. Then we'll be friends of Hermit. I see the bad translator took over here. Do we need to cut all newcomers' hair off as a sign of faith and reflection? My Elk Sword Last Azoth is ready. I can feel nothing but loneliness from you. Kaguya was defeated in battle. When she thought everything was over, what's waiting for her was the warm welcome from true Yokai Land Buddhists. Yeah, that's not a cutoff on my end. That's in game. Patch could use a bit of work. I feel like, yeah. So what happened here is that they didn't do a manual new line before the word everything. So like it fucks up the word wrap. I've done that. It turned out that without Set, foreign god of savagery, and without the tome of Thoth they brought, true Yokai Land Buddhism was simply a peaceful gathering of friendly yokai. And Kaguya also figured that Horo's objective is to travel to the outside world. For that, she froze Gensoku's barrier with time altogether, so she could pass by. She alone never intended to do any harms or anything dangerous, but Set was different. Set was kind of an ass. Oh, whoa. Fucking get that off. Alright, I'm gonna get going this time. Wait, Horo-senpai. I've been admiring your might, your talent that controls time with Thoth's tome. I'm wondering if you have spells that can rewind time. I can't wait to see how cute and gorgeous Horo-senpai could be while rewinding time. This doesn't feel like Kaguya. Is that it? Sure, let Horo-senpai show you. Then Kaguya was sent back to the time where the incident was about to happen. She doesn't care if enemies are actually innocent or not, and she wouldn't be satisfied until she beats up everyone on her way. Do better next time, Kaguya. Sometimes you gotta solve hard problems yourself. But I'm kind of curious how a bald princess would look like. I see. Oh, I'm sorry, I made the mute before clearing my throat. Missed the button. So yeah, I'll go check out that one thing in spell practice really quick just to kind of show you what I mean there. Yeah. This is what I initially played through with. Right. So it's here. Now, spell practice is kind of weird in this. It sometimes lets you play stuff that you haven't actually seen. So it let me play this, and then after I played it once, it revealed the name. So I don't know how to trigger it per se. It probably is just the same as the others, but I haven't captured it yet. I only tried it a couple times because it seems pretty tough, honestly. Yep. These like wide homing lasers are scary. I've never been good with those kinds of things. Usually I try to steer like too close. Like, to this day, I still can't do Con Piece's non-spell that has like the homing lasers on you. Makes you like go all over the screen to avoid them. And then it's got like different lasers. I haven't made it past this phase yet. I haven't really tried, though. Oh, so now she's like doing the box lasers again. I hope you're not gonna do them again, because I'm stuck in the corner. Yeah, so it's like a big variety pack of this. Like I figured it was. Okay. It like uses all of her non-spell laser patterns, I guess, huh? And some more. Oh, actually did it. That wasn't really that bad. It was a really cool card. I would say it's pretty neat. I still don't know if that Hatsuna Magatsuji is. Okay, so I don't think there's really anything else I want to show off in particular here. There are a couple unseen spell cards in Extra. I don't really know what that's all about. Probably the same kind of thing, right? Like, last words. RSS. Oh, okay, right. I've heard that name before. Got it. I figured it was probably another in-universe character. Quite a lot of stuff to this, like, author or group's canon, huh? Gotta get into that a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna quit Hull Song of Birds here for the night. I'm gonna go have another quick bathroom break, and when I come back, I'll be switching over to Pokemon Crystal Clear. So I will be right back.